So this apparatus is known as the beam bending apparatus. So this also falls under the classification of verification of the theory itself only. We know that in case of bending of the beams, okay, when the beams are subjected to the positive bending moment, the top layers undergo compression and the bottom layers undergo tension, okay. And we also know that depending on the given cross section of the beam, now using sigma equals to my by I formula, you can compute the value of the stress at any particular value of the cross section of the beam, okay. So therefore what you need to know is that the sigma equal to my by I, you should know the bending moment at that particular section and the cross sectional property from which you can find out the I and the point y at which you want to find out the bending stresses. So using this particular formula, you can calculate the bending stresses for any kind of cross section or for any kind of bending beam, basically whether it is a cantilever beam, whether it is a fixed end beam, or whether it is a simply supported beam, or okay, you can calculate for any kind of beam. Now again the question arises that the sigma equals to my by I, though looks very simple a formula, but is it actually close to the, is this formula predicts the values very close to the experimental values? Since because only if it close to the experimental values, you can actually use it in your actual design of the engineering components. And therefore this particular apparatus is meant to verify the bending formula which is coming in the elementary solid mechanics theory, okay. So in this, as you can guess from here, is that we have a beam. You can see here this is the beam which has a cross section of T, inverted T cross section, okay. We also know that this particular cross section has a center of centroid CG, okay. So depending on how the bending, suppose if it is the positive bending moment, above the CG you have one type of stress, that is compressive or tensile, and below the CG we have another type of different types of stress, that is tension or compression, okay. So depending on how the beam is actually given the bending, positive bending moment or negative bending moment. Now the question is that using the sigma equals to my by I, so therefore you can find out the stresses at any particular point within the cross section, right from the top to the bottom actually. Now the question is that how do I know that the stresses are accurate or compared with the experimental results? So for that, what we do here is that we actually, in this particular apparatus, we have a beam of as I told you, that inverted T section. We also have the strain gauges. You can see here strain gauges 1, 2, 3, and there is on this particular edge also one more is there. So 4, backside also 3 more are there. Therefore there are total 7 strain gauges are there. You can see in this particular diagram, okay, even below is also there here. So total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So therefore the total 9 number of strain gauges are there. It means that the strain, the basic role of the strain gauges is they can measure the strain at that particular point wherever they are pasted. Say for example, a strain gauge is pasted here and you can measure the strain at that particular point, okay. So from the strains you can find out the stresses using the stress strain relations, and therefore you can actually compare with the bending stress formula, okay. So and what locations you can find out? You can see that the bending stress values at 9 locations you can easily compare, okay. Now this particular, on this particular beam, this setup will allow you to apply the forces at different locations, okay. So you can vary the application of the point of application of the force also, and you can, of course, I think it is simply supported only, you will not get any other boundary conditions. So the beam remains same, but you can vary the forces, and by varying the different locations of the forces, theoretically you can calculate at all these 9 locations of the stresses, and then practically you measure the stresses using the strains. From the strains you compute the stresses, and from there these experimental stresses can be compared with the theoretical stresses at these 9 locations, and then you can easily understand that the bending formula looks very simple, sigma equals to my by I. is really a powerful formula where the values will come out to be extremely close to the experimental results.
Hello everyone, I am Dr. Rituraj Soikia speaking from Mechanical Engineering Department, IIT Guwahati. So presently we are in the strength of materials lab, and today I will explain to you how to do an experiment to find out the bending stresses in a beam. So this is the main experimental component where we have this is the T-shaped beam, inverted T-shaped beam, and these are some data acquisition systems, and all these data can also be recorded in the computer through a software that is available. So this is the software. So first of all, let me explain to you the experimental setup. So this is the beam whose bending stress you have to find out. So if you observe, this beam is in the shape of a inverted T. This is an aluminum beam whose cross section is in the shape of a. So you can see just at the center of the beam there are several strain gauges fitted. So these are the strain gauges to measure the strain. You can see there are 9 number of strain gauges. If I show you the schematic diagram, it will be clear to you the position of the strain gauges. 2 of the strain gauges are fitted below the beam, 2 at the top side of the beam, and the others are on the both sides of the beam, as well as one at the top of the T, bottom of the T, inverted. Now the load will be applied at 2 points, as you can see from the schematic diagram. These are the 2 points, and physically if you observe, you can see this is one point. Similarly at the other side there is another point here. This is a rubber bushing. So these are the 2 points as which load. So loading the beam at 2 points has 2 major advantages. First of all, it allows a gauge to be placed on top of the beam in this way. This is the gauge. And secondly, it gives better gauge performance. It gives better gauge performance and avoids stress concentration close to the gauge positions. So that is why we are applying load at 2 different points. Now let us observe how we are applying the load on the beam. So this is the beam, and it is connected to a lower beam through a lead screw and a load cell. So this is the lead screw. If you can observe, if you rotate the lead screw, it will just try to pull the beam, the experimental beam through this load cell. So this is the load cell. So if we want to apply load, we have to simply rotate this lead screw so that it gives a pulling action to the upper beam, and the load will be sensed by this load cell, and it will be displayed in a display panel here. This is the display panel. Similarly for the strain gauges, we have this data acquisition system through which the data will be collected from the strain gauge, and it will be displayed in the strain display unit over here. So this is the strain display unit. So as you can see now, presently it is showing the strain 1 microstrain, and this is the knob for choosing the strain gauge display from the different strain gauges. Presently it is showing the display from the strain gauge number 3. This is the display from strain gauge number 3. If you want to change the strain display to other strain gauges, you have to just rotate it. Now it is at 2, so this will be the strain gauge 2. So for performing the experiments, you have to apply a certain load on the beam. So this is the loading unit, as I have already told you. You just rotate it and you see the load here. First of all, let us apply a load of 100 Newton. So I am just rotating this lead screw and the load is increasing here. Let us apply a load of 100 Newton now. So load is increasing. First of all, we will apply 100 Newton. So you see now the load on the beam is 100 Newton. So for this load you can see the strain gauge reading. So now if you observe here, it is the strain gauge 1 is now selected through this knob. So this is the strain reading 278 microstrain. So let us see the strain at position 2. You have to just rotate it. Now I have changed it to position number 2, and so this is the strain. So in this way you have to find out you have to take down the reading of the strains of the 9 strain gauges. So the readings from the experimental setup can also be collected through a software that is available. So this is the software. As you can see, Now this is the experimental view of the setup, schematic view of the setup, and these are the strain gauge readings. You have to first connect the software to the equipment, and finally you will get the strain gauge readings here. So these are the strain gauge readings for the different strain gauges. So thus physically we can do the experiment on this inverted T section, aluminum section, inverted T beam, but we can also do some experiment in other types of beams virtually in the software. So now let me show you how to do those experiments. So now you can see in the software we have selected the inverted T section that is available in our lab, but we can virtually change it to some other types of beams also, like this taller inverted, wider inverted and others. So in that case, when you select this, we have to apply the load virtually in this panel, in this button. We have to apply the load virtually, and we can find out the strains that are being generated due to this load on different types of beams. So the readings of the experiments should be recorded in this sort of a table, where you have to record the readings of the strain gauges 1, 2, 3 up to 9 at various loads starting from 0, 100, 200 up to 500. Then in a second table you have to convert these readings to bending moment. So as the dimensions of the beam will be provided to you, so these are the dimensions of the beam. So you have to calculate the average strains from the pair of strain gauges and enter in the table number 3 in this way. So this manual will be provided to you. We will also provide you the data, since we will not be able to physically do the experiment. We will do the experiment and provide the data, but you have to do the calculations, like you have to plot the strain against relative vertical position of the strain gauge, and also you have to calculate the second moment of inertia, and you have to answer some of these questions, make a report and send it. So your manual will give you what are the formulas to be used, also the dimensions of this setup of the beam. So using these formulas you can find out all the questions, you can answer all the questions that will be given to you and send us the report.